Well, dear MP Glynis Breytenbach has pleaded not guilty to all charges against her. Breytenbach and her lawyer appeared in the Pretoria Magistrates Court today. Co-accused Gerard Wagner also pleaded not guilty to all charges. Breytenbach faces charges of obstructing and defeating the ends of justice, perjury and fraud. She was a senior prosecutor of the NPA and was suspended in April of 2012. In May 2013, Breytenbach was found not guilty on all 15 charges relating to her handling of a controversial mining rights case. The NPA has accused her of wiping her laptop clean and shredding documents relevant to an investigation dating back to 2012, when she was employed as a senior state prosecutor. But Breytenbach believes that the case against her is flimsy. ANN7 reporter Michael Apple joins us via phone line. A very good afternoon to you, Michael. Essentially, what's the update on the case?
Good afternoon to you, Shantae, and to the viewers. Well, we are dealing with a lot of timelines and the chronology of this all dating back to roughly April, May 2012, when a letter was addressed by a complainant to the NPA saying that there was abuse of power taking place in a case. It was a minerals contestation case that was taking place in Kimberley that advocate Breytenbach was involved in. She was at the time the head of the Specialized Commercial Crimes Unit and the National Director of Public Prosecutions, and that there had been undue influence and that there was an improper relationship between herself and advocate Mike Helens, who was representing Kumba Iron Ore in this minerals contestation case. This was put to the NPA. They then investigated, and the complaint was given to the then acting chief executive officer of the National Prosecuting Authority, who was the state's very first witness who they called, who's advocate Karen van Rensburg. She subsequently became the chief executive officer of the NPA, but her position has now been dissolved, so she is currently a national director of public prosecutions in Pretoria. But she says that in consultation with Glynis Breytenbach's boss at the time, that it was decided that they would have a meeting with her to inform her of this allegation against her, of this improper relationship, and that she would then be asked upon notice of suspension, which was later decided upon, that she would have to hand over all documentation, including this infamous laptop which is being spoken about, that this laptop would have to be handed over to investigators as part of this investigation into this improper relationship between herself and Mike Helens. And now what we've been dealing with here is the state has said 6 charges against advocate Breytenbach, as well as her co-accused and attorney Gerard Wagner, including obstruction of justice, defeating the ends of justice, and contravening a number of sections of the National Prosecuting Authority Act involving the deletion or altering of information on this laptop belonging to the National Prosecuting Authority. Glynis Breytenbach has, for a number of years now, maintained that every single time you plug in a laptop at the NPA headquarters, that it downloads onto a server. The NPA has accused her of deleting information vital to the investigation. She is saying that that information was backed up on the NPA server and that information is not missing at all. So there is actually no case. There's no misconduct. And then she was suspended, and advocate Barry Rue, who's acting no stranger to our TV screens in the Oscar trial, is now representing advocate Glynis Breytenbach, is saying that at the time that advocate Nonkobo Jiba, who is at the time the acting National Director of Public Prosecutions, did not have the requisite authority or power to suspend advocate Breytenbach, and that it was only the minister. And that was a concession made by advocate van Rensburg from the stand, that even she agreed that advocate Jiba did not have the authority to suspend advocate Breytenbach. It was only the minister who could do that. We have broken for lunch. Advocate van Rensburg is still on the stand and will be re-examined by the prosecutor in the case for the state advocate Raymond Matenjwa.
Definitely. Thank you very much for taking us through the highlights and the updates there on the Breytenbach case. Michael Apple for ANN7.